Now, for today's lesson, these are called compound inequalities, which just basically means in math, sometimes you can be greater than 3 or less than -2. Or you could be less than 3 and greater than -4. All right, there are some restrictions. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not always just greater than or less than. And if you think about it, there are cases where, the answer will fall between two choices. All right, or they can be on the extremes. And that's what I'm going to try to demonstrate right now. All right, now again, I know some of you get frustrated, but I tell you, it's easy. Follow me along bit by bit by bit by bit, and it'll be really simple. All right, as soon as you have a problem, address the problem immediately. Address the problem immediately. All right, here we go. Graph the solution set of the compound inequality. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to graph it, and then in math, interval notation. When you get to higher level math, we use interval notation. We do not use a number line. All right, so here we go. If I'm going to graph this, b is greater than 3. So it would be an open circle at 3, and we would be going to the right. Or less than or equal to 0. So it would be a solid dot at 0, and then less than. All right? Now, how do I know this is an or statement and not an and? Because I cannot be, pay attention, this is the important part, I cannot be over here and over here at the same time. I can only be what? On one side or the other. I cannot be in both places. All right? That's how I know it is an or statement. All right? Now, writing it in interval notation, we read from what? Left to right. So we're going to start with what? Negative infinity, and we're going to end up at what? 0. Now, in math, this symbol, U, is for union. All right? Means both of them. All right? From what? 3 to infinity. Guys, it really is that simple. It's really that simple. Put it on my desk and then hurry up because you're already a problem behind. Hurry up. Chop, chop. Thank you. All right. Anybody have any questions with that? Yes, go. It's the same reason as what we did last night. Same exact reason. Do you want me to say it or do you remember now? If you're equal to, it's a solid dot.
Oh, okay.
Come on, right? And listen, guys, I'm trying to tell you that to me made sense, right? If it's equal to 0, that means it's included. That's a solid dot. When I asked you in 5th grade to graph x equals 2 on a number line, you went to x equals 2 and put a dot on x equals 2. It's the same exact principle. If I say I'm greater than 3, I can't put a dot at 3 because it's not equal to 3. But it's everything what? Greater than 3. And remember what we said, there is no first number greater than 3. Right? If something's greater than 3, we don't start at 4. Because there's a bunch of numbers between 3 and 4. All right? Allie Quigley, did that answer your question? All right. Hurry up now because you're a problem behind. All right, hopefully you guys were very thankful. That goes on my desk. To Miss Linda when you left. All right. All right, so question number 2. Here we go. If z is less than or equal to 3, so I put a solid dot at 3, and I'm going less than. Then it says z is greater than or equal to -2. So I put a solid dot at -2, and I'm going this direction. Right? So listen to me. That's the answer. It's everything between -2 and 3. This is an and statement. All right? Because it's an and statement, that means it has to be true for both statements. What numbers are less than 3 and greater than -2? Everything what? In between. Everything in between. All right? Everything in between. So an or statement can be true for one or the other. An and statement has to be true for what? Both. So if I take, for example, -1, is -1 less than or equal to 3? And is it greater than or equal to -2? Yes, that's why that's a solution. So it's everything in between -2 and 3. Does it include -2 and 3? Yes, so the interval notation would be -2 to 3. Very simple. Very, very simple. All right, go ahead. You got a question?
So whenever there's an and, you don't use anything to do -2 to do the number.
Now, here's what I want to teach you right now, and I know it's frustrating sometimes, but I would prefer, instead of saying, when it's this, I do this, when it's this, I do this. That's not the way I want you to learn math. I want you to look at that and tell me. The answer is everything between what? -2 and that. Listen to me. I'm trying to get you to see that this right here is that number line. It's the same thing. You with me? This right here is this number line. It's just describing the number line. You with me on that?
Yeah.
So again, when you graph something or when you say something, I would prefer that you just understand exactly what it means. When I say z is less than 3 and z is greater than -2, I want you to be able to say that just means it's everything in between those. That's what that means. That's what this answer is right here. That's what that answer is. All right? Go.
So when it's 4, you do that.
You're not.
I know, but like,
It's the same thing. So for those of you guys who are just memorizing facts, if it's an or, it's going to look like number 1.
okay.
If it's an and, it's going to look like number 2. I prefer that you not do that, but that's the way you want to do it. All right? I'm get irritated because I want you to be a thinker. I don't want you to memorize facts. That's what makes it difficult when you take an exam. You've just memorized a semester instead of understand the semester. All right? I don't think that's too challenging. All right? I want you to think about it. That's what I'm trying to get out of you.
And you did brackets because of the sign, because it was like more.
Brilliant. It was equal to. The bracket is for equal to. The parentheses is when there's not an equal to. All right? So let's talk again. All right, number 3. All right? Here we go. So, if k is less than 1, greater than 1, solid dot going in this direction. I said open. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Listen to the tape. Then it says k is what? And it says k is greater than 5. All right, let's start by this one because it's going to require some thought. Hello? No. Okay. Now, again, guys, this requires some thought. All right, so please listen. I would like someone to tell me what numbers are greater than 1 and greater than 5. James.
5.111.
Or you would just say greater than 5. Perfect. Does everybody listen to what I'm saying now? Listen to what I'm saying. I'm simply asking, if I ask you a question and I said k is greater than 1 and k is greater than 5, does 3 work? No, because although 3 is greater than 1, It's not greater than 5. So again, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys about thinking. I can make these so many different ways your head's going to blow up because you're trying to memorize everything. If you think about it personally, it's just easy. If somebody says to you k is greater than 1 and k is greater than 5, everybody should be like James. Well, obviously that just means it's greater than 5. That's what the answer is. All right? So the answer is 5 to infinity. All right? That's what that means. All right? So if I'm looking at the answer on the number line, that would be the answer on the number line. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
Come on. How many times are we going to talk about that? It's not equal to. It's not equal to. If it's equal to, it's a what? Bracket. Not equal to, it's a parentheses. Bracket means it includes 5. Parentheses means it doesn't include 5. Come on, guys. That's not my fault. All right, plus we learned it yesterday and the day before. All right, now we got a tough one. Got to be thinking. Y is less than -1. So here we go. Y is less than -1, so I'm going to draw it out. And then Y is greater than or equal to 1. Now, again, that's an or statement, correct?
Yeah.
So or means it can be true for one or the other. That's what that means. Or statement can be true for one of them. So that is the answer. That is the answer. So in this case, we're saying we're going from -infinity to -1 union bracket 1 to infinity. Please listen carefully. All right? Is everybody happy with that? First 4. All right? Okay. Now, 5, 6, 7, and 8 means you're going to write them. All right? Now, 5 and 6 are a little bit harder, so we're going to start with 7 and 8. All right? We're going to start with 7 and 8, then I'm going to go back to 5 and 6. All right? So, here we go. So, reading numbers from left to right, we say that x is what? Less than -2. Or, because it's going in opposite directions. Or what? Guys, greater than or equal to 1. Because it's a solid God. Oh, he's so mean to me. Can't wait to go tell my mama. All right. Here we go. Next one. Everybody, write number 8. And we should say the answer is perfect. Would have been really good if you said x is greater than 2. Now, come on, man. That's just so simple. I can do them all, actually. All right. Here we go. Now, going back, because 5 and 6 were the tricky ones. All right. I really don't like how they wrote the and statements in questions 3 and 2. All right. So here's how they would be written in like an advanced math book. All right. So when you get to Algebra 2, here's how they're going to be. Here's how you're going to see the and statements. All right. I would like you to know that number 5 means x is between what two numbers? Exactly. X is between -3 and 3. So when it's between, that means it's an and statement. So watch how simple. All right. I always told you to read numbers from what? Left to right. So we write down -3. All right. Now, then I want you to write down x. And then I want you to write what? 3. All right. Now, what I'm trying to convince you of, do you agree that means x is between -3 and 3? Right? So x has to be less than or equal to 3 and greater than -3. Now listen, because what I said is not what I wrote, and I didn't make a mistake. All right? So x is somewhere in the middle. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So x in relationship to 3 is less than. Do you agree? But over here, x is what? Greater than -3. Does everybody agree? We don't say it like this. We don't say -3 is less than x is less than or equal to 3. We don't say it. We don't talk like that. We simply say x is between what? -3 and 3. Is everybody with me? So when you write it that way, and I'm reading it, I read the variable. That's what I was trying to teach you yesterday. Read the variable first. So this says x is less than or equal to 3. And then in terms of x, I read the other direction. So it is what? Hold up. It is x is greater than -3. Now notice that's a less than sign, but I wasn't reading it from left to right. I was reading it from what? Right to left. Now again, listen to me. Stop daydreaming. That was a difficult thing, unless you're hearing me. All right? Now, if you said -3 is less than x is less than or equal to 3, I know what you mean. You just haven't had the practice yet. All right? Math, we speak as x is between -3 and 3. All right? Now, let's take a look at number 6 then. All right? Start from left to right. In my opinion, the easiest way to do it is to write the numbers down first. 1, then a variable, then a number, right? And what I want to tell you too, these signs will always be written in the same direction. All right? That's why I like to start with the second one. All right? So in this case, x is what compared to 4? X is less than or equal to. And then x is greater than or equal to 1. All right? Is everybody good? It's not hard. All right? Now, if I ask you to write it in interval notation, we're going to practice that also. So number 5, the interval notation would just be what? Come on, you should be good at that. That's what that means. Yep, you got the next one. Number 6, what is it?
Bracket 1, 4, bracket.
That's exactly right. It's really easy, guys. I mean it. It's really easy. Go ahead.
So would the answer be the bracket 1, bracket 4, bracket, or would it be 1x4?
Okay, so here's what I'm telling you. See, the reason why I'm giving you all this information is because on standardized tests it could be, I don't know. Right? Like when you guys go take your Jesuit test, I don't know. I had a meeting with them, but they didn't get into the specifics. They told me what you did good on. They told me what they did bad on. So I'm trying to highlight as much as I can to prepare you for that. All right? So I have to give you as much information as you can. That's why I try to tell you it's better to understand what I'm saying than try to memorize all the rules. It's much easier. Plus, you're much smarter using your brain than just memorizing all the facts. All right? It's very easy, guys. Very easy. Go. Yep.
How come there's no bracket?
Do you see why?
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Okay? So if we're doing on number 7, we would say what? Good. 2. Good. Good.
And then 1, or bracket 1, and then 2.
Welcome back. All right. And what about 8? Somebody else. Loud and proud. Go.
-3,
Good.
and comma, -1.
Beautiful.
No bracket, and then cube 2, no bracket, and comma, infinity.
Yeah. Once you, seriously, and I'm not trying to be mean to some of you guys, honestly, you guys pay attention for 2 weeks, your grade's going to change tremendously. If you do your work for 2 weeks solid, you'll be a different student. All right?
What is the union?
Union. It means put them together. All right? Now, sometimes in math, that will be the answer. But technically, for us, that means put them together. All right? All right, here we go. Now, look how silly this is now. On number 9, this is just like mental math now. All right? So look how easy they made it. So we would just say M is what? M is greater than or equal to 2, and what? M is,
Less than.
yeah, you guys are going soft on me on that. Come on, guys, you should be able to look at that and say subtract 3, and you just have 2 equations. All right? So now I'm less than or equal to 2, so let's do that. Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, wow. I did less than. Instead of doing what? Greater than. And then it says M is what? Less than 4. So it just means everything what? In between. That's all it means. Everything in between. All right? So if I had to do the interval notation, we would just simply say what? 2, 4. That's it. Simple. Michael, you good?
Wait, when? Oh, yeah.
You good? You haven't said much. All right. You good?
Yeah.
All right, let's try the next one, number 10. All right. So just, what do I have?
Y is less than.
Or,
Y is greater or equal to 6.
beautiful. So here we go. Less than 1. Greater than or equal to 6. Does that make sense? Interval notation. Come on, someone who's not speaking up. Come on, guys. Let's hear from somebody. Good. Good. Right. Is it a bracket? Everybody happy with that? Right? All right. 11. Now you just got to be careful because it's written kind of awkwardly. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's go ahead and subtract 6, right? And so it would be negative 2 is less than, or let's just rewrite that as
So F is
greater than negative 2. Beautiful. And then over here it says F is less than negative 1. All right. So if I'm greater than negative 2 and less than negative 1. Is that great? It's just everything between negative 2 and negative 1. All right, so interval notation. Very good. All right, let's check out 12. Mental math, come on. What is
It would be W is less than
W is less than or equal to negative 3?
W is greater than or equal to
Okay. Less than or equal to negative 3. Greater than or equal to 2. Okie doke. Someone new. Come on. Allie, Quigley. Tell me what to do. Can you do it? No, first 26. Bracket.
and then you would do
Beautiful. Easy. Good job. Anybody seen his iPad? Don't you look for it? Look on my desk. Look around. All right. And everybody else just carry on. while he's looking. Okay, now let's put a star by number 13. Now look, I don't understand again why this was tricky. All right, you can look at my desk or something if you want. There's an iPad. I don't know if it's my iPad or not. All right. Now, listen, all I need to do on this is to add 4, correct?
Yeah.
But I'm adding 4 to both sides. All right, so I'm going to write it down right here. We're going to say -6. I'm just going to show you, and it would be this, +4, +4, +4. So you're isolating. Yep. So that technically means B is somewhere between what? That's right. So open circle -2, open circle 6, and everything between. So they're happy with that? Now interval notation, that would just be -2 what? There you go. All right, James, you good? It's everything between. Yes, good.
Wait, I don't understand how it's open number line.
So what I'm trying to get you to understand is this literally means B is somewhere between -2 and 6. You hear me? So that's why it's between -2 and 6.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's take a look at 14. So the first thing I have to do on 14 is to do what? Add 2. So that's going to be what? Or P is greater than 3. All right, so here we go. Less than or equal to 0. Or greater than 3. Yes, ma'am. Sure? All right. All right, Lauren, tell me about the interval notation. Two, including 0? Come on, it sounds like you're guessing, Lauren. Come on. Continue. But you go from left to right. Nothing to it. Yeah.
So like if you put infinity 3,
I'm just gonna. You're just not gonna do that because you're smart. All right. I'm not gonna. I'm not that way. I'm not gonna just put a big fat red X on your paper unless you did it. I would. All right. But anybody else, I would, have some sympathy. But again, that's what I'm saying. You're not going to do that because why? Because you know to read numbers from what? Left to right. So you just look at the number line and you go from left to right. You're at negative infinity all the way to positive infinity. That's why you don't say infinity to 3. Because that means you're reading from right to left. We don't do that. All right? So let's try. A number plus 1 is greater than -5 and, right? And less than, all right? And the number is less than 3. That's how I would think of that. So a number plus 1 is greater than -5. And what are we talking about? The number, right? And the number is less than 3. Everybody agree with that? So in this case, if we solve this out, it would be what? N is greater than -6 and N is less than 3. So that means I'm everything between what? Yes, between -6 and 3. So if you wanted to, there you have it. Everybody okay with that? All right. Yes.
So for these, you don't like know if it's going to be equal to zero or not. So
Well, if it's equal to,
what it tell you?
yes.
Oh,
All right. Now number 16. A number decreased by 2 is at most, if I have at most $5 in my pocket, less than or equal to, is at most 4, or what? Which means, or at least 9, greater than or equal to 9. Is everybody with me on that? So if I solve that, that would be, yes. Or what? Greater than or equal to 9. Right? So now I'm kind of hoping when you look at that, does everybody see that's an or statement, right? And most of the time, or's go in opposite direction, right? So I'm trying to get you to visually think about numbers now. If you're less than 6 or greater than 9, you would be from -infinity to, yes. And then what? Yes. All right, you guys are thinking a little better now, I think. Concentrate. All right. Last one. The sum of a number and 3 is no more than 8. That, less than or equal to 8. Or the number is more than 12. All right? So now we have n is less than or equal to what? Or n is greater than 12. So if we can get a better visual, we can say now we're going from what? I think it's -infinity to 5. And then what? I think that's accurate.
It went to the negative.
Yes, 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 yes. Bracket. Thank you. Good job. Good job. All right, now I'm just trying to say I think memorizing is hard. Honestly, guys, I think memorizing is hard. There's a lot of rules. All right, I try to tell kids all the time, it's much better to understand math than to memorize math. You can memorize a bunch of rules and get the rules mixed up, and then you miss everything. Or it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. All right? Yeah, tonight, listen, I just want you to do 1 through 14. You can skip 15 and 16 for now. All right, so you can kind of cross that out and do 1 through 14. All right? Very good job. Get started so you don't have much.